All right. So, quick intro. If you're used to the old Red Dawn channel, we used to have like a minute and 20-second intro. So now the intro is nice and short, and it doesn't have all the accoutrements of Donald Trump getting shot in the ear. And who's our friend that you met at the bar the one time at Shot Show? The 17-year-old who smoked the pedophiles who were chasing him down the street that one time.
Oh, Kyle.
Oh, Kyle. Yeah, Kyle was on my intro. I had Kyle. I had the Venezuelan gangs that were going door to door, and I think it was a little too hot for YouTube. So I think they didn't like that too much.
Probably not.
Want to appreciate everybody who's in the chat, and appreciate Risky for coming on. I know this is kind of my off night on Sunday nights, but it's kind of nice to just kick back, and we're going to chat a little bit about gear that we like and experiences that we've had running equipment and stuff that we have preferences towards, and our thoughts on maybe some companies and things like that. I'm sure you guys have heard Risky's rants many a times, and so we're going to give you guys a break from that, even though there's probably plenty of things to rant about. And you never know, we might spiral into a rant from the both of us at some point. Shout out to Kurt24, moderator in the building. Ground Fog, Hiroshi 17. What's up, Hiroshi? Marengo, good to see you. Zane, looks like we got 30 people in chat. What's happening? G23, moderator, good to have you in the building. Live Life. Ace 509, my brother, missed you at the range today. Let's get this party started, G23 says. Kurt24, shout out to Drew in Oregon. Always good to have Drew in Oregon in the building. Agorizer, Bill Camporius, good to see you, Bill. It's been a minute. Got Risky Chrisky dropping himself in the chat. Good evening, everybody. And Zane Klemek, Chad, let's see, Herbie, all kinds of people. So if you are coming over to the channel, Risky's been on a few live streams with me, so if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, definitely do that. And I don't know how big the chat will be because it's kind of a last minute live stream. But if you desperately have a question that you would like to for us to see, I have not had a super chat yet on this channel, and we've only been monetized about a month. So if anybody does want to get their question like expedited, feel free to not asking for like a certain amount or anything, but I don't even know what it'll look like if I see a super chat. I have a feeling it'll just like explode the screen. But yeah, if you got any questions, we're gonna roll into some stuff. And yeah, Risky. I was asking Risky about Glock Knuckle, and I guess he's had more slide bites than Glock Knuckle, but put a 1 in chat if you've ever shot a range day and either gotten Glock Knuckle or a slide bite from a Glock. And other than that, Risky, what is your favorite Glock?
Favorite Glock, probably Glock 19. All time.
Generation? Any generation?
I like them all. I do not own a Gen 6, so I feel like I shouldn't speak to that, even though I really dig the look of it. I've held one in a gun store. Currently, I'm rocking Gen 4 and Gen 5 19s. I really used to dig the Gen 4 RTF 19. I thought that
Yeah,
was cool. But
very
my main squeezes these days are all Gen 5s.
mine too. I still have one Gen 4 19. Obviously, it's non-MOS iron sights only. And it does have an SLR magwell on there, which makes it feel really great.
I like those magwells. I have one on a Glock 45.
Yeah, on the 45s. So they're definitely my second favorite. But you remember Ranger Proof triggers?
Sounds familiar.
They are the ones that designed the Johnny Glock trigger with them. They have a new name now. Their company was purchased by like a friend of the owner or something. I did a short about them, but they have a magwell, and I have like 3 of them now, and I think it beats out the SLR.
Really?
Yeah, it's got a little bigger funnel than the SLR, and just a slightly bigger lip. That on the larger handles, I have big hands, but my hands aren't giant. So when I grip like a 45 or 17, my hand's not like squeezing on the magwell like on a 19. Um, so I like it just a hair bigger because I can get just a slight feel of it. Um, but yeah, they're definitely worth a try. Actually, there's I think one other company who sells the exact same one, which is the company's called 9X by 19.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's super cool. Warfinger, you can customize it to any color, however you want it, which is cool.
Hell
9x19
yeah.
for the win in chat. Yeah, 9x those magwells are they're cheaper than SLR and they're sick, but SLR is absolutely it's top two.
Speaking
Do
of
you?
magwells,
Uh-huh.
I actually was just painting an HRF magwell for an AR.
Oh, I painted one before. What'd you paint it?
Um, you know, chat's probably not gonna like it. I just went back to black with it.
Okay.
It's been like 6 different colors over the years, and I've got, unfortunately, recently diagnosed, as most of y'all know, with restless rifle syndrome, and I cannot fucking sit idly by and have a rifle just keep its same setup for too long. Either got to
See,
update something or tinker or whatever. Very
I
few guns I have remained the same over the years.
I have restless Glock syndrome, especially because the Gen 5s, like all the slides are interchangeable and stuff. So like I'm always like, oh, and I have a Koa. So I'm like, should I put the Koa on this one? Should I put the Radiant on? Should I carry the Koa? And like so and Glocks, it's so easy to swap everything. The trigger color, because I have a bunch of different Ranger proof triggers. Actually, I've been running Ranger proof triggers for like years. But yeah, restless Glock syndrome, I have bad. My rifles, I do not touch them. The only thing that I go back and forth on is should I run my LPVO with the acro on top on the 12.5 and stop running the, yeah.
I actually just I still am in possession of it, but I am getting rid of the Razor 1 to 6.
No way.
And well, I'm not out of the LPVO game, so don't jump to a conclusion.
If you get
I'm
my favorite LPVO and you're about to say you're going to get the PLX CRDB, I'm going to be very happy
I'm
for you.
eyeing the Attacker.
Ooh, okay.
It's a little bit more, but I have
1 to 8
extra.
or the new 1 to 6 one.
I don't know, probably 1 to 8. Um, I've got an extra bike, motorcycle that I might offload in order to pay for it. But getting a new LPVO, I was like, I can probably trade the Vortex Razor and get something else. So I'm getting an EOTech from a guy. Um,
Nice.
and I'm probably going to throw that on the SBR. I might mess around with it on the URGI for a little bit until I buy the LPVO. But
What
I,
what kind of EOTech do you know? Is it the 2 dot reticle? Is it the new? I forget. They got a new reticle out that looks real sick with
it's
like
I
the
haven't seen the new reticle. It's the EXPS 3-0. So just the traditional 68 MOA ring with the one MOA dot. I
yeah.
was I almost bought, or not bought, but I bit on a trade with a guy with just the dot only.
Mm,
And I was like, that'd be kind of cool. However, I feel like I'm not building a strict night vision gun. So that's not what
hmm
this is. And I went down probably 2 years at this point, down to Florida to meet with the Barrel and Hatchet guys and the Wiseman Company guys. And there was a
Yeah.
shooting competition down there. And the dudes who did the best either were running, some people call it MPVO. I don't really like that word, but like a full on scope. They did pretty good, but the guys who did the best were running just regular EOTechs with magnifiers. And I was talking to him afterward. I was like, "How the hell are y'all shooting 8,
Because
900 yards?"
it's a 1 MOA dot, so you got
The
eight
dot
inches.
never gets bigger, even when
Yeah.
you zoom in on it. And I didn't understand that because I've never been an EOTech guy. I've always been an aim point guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just use the ring around it, and they just kind of memorize their holds between the dot and the ring. And the more I look into it, the more I'm like, there might be something there. Obviously, the battery life is the biggest issue for me, but you know, I can handle that. I have plenty of aim points as it is. So like if the world's ending and batteries are hard to come by, like I can fucking throw an aim point on a gun or use a gun with an aim point or use an LPVO. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that's necessarily gonna be a problem, especially if I just stock up on CR123s. And heard somewhere if you use it for 4 hours a day, every day, the battery should last like 250-ish days. So that's not that bad. One CR123, you know, every 10 months or
If it's
so.
the
Like,
only if it's the only optic that is eating up your CR123s, which I mean, some flashlights eat them up as well. But if it's your only optic that you can like just stack 10 of them away for, I think you'd be
mhm,
good. But I do really like the EOTech. I'm running the Romeo 4XT Pro,
mhm.
the aim point T2 that you have at home. And I liked it because it takes a single AAA battery and it lasts insanely long.
I dig
Um,
that. I'm
yeah.
just at the point now where I'm like, I've gone through the gambit so many times that I'm just, even if it costs more, if I have to wait a little bit or if I have to offload some other stuff that I have to get it, I'm just gonna I'm gonna buy what I wanna buy, and not saying you did that with that specific optic, but, like, I've bought plenty of PSAs over the year, plenty of primary arms optics. Take away the PLXC, that's a little bit different of a caliber, but I'm just at the point now, I'm
Do
wanting to
you have
scale
a
down a little bit.
PLXC?
I don't. I have a few friends with them, I've shot with them before, I like them, but if I was to choose between a PLXC and, like, the Night Force, I'd probably go with the Night Force, even though the price difference is retarded.
Yeah, I mean, the RDB piqued my interest because I wanted to see, okay, if this thing really is red dot bright, and I've run the Nova, the primary arms Nova before, and it was just the cheap one, the SLX 1 to 6. But when I threw that thing on a 2.26-inch mount, I could run it with two eyes open like a red dot all day long. So if the primary arms is really red dot bright and I could slap that on even a 193, now I don't only have my 1XB in the aim point acro. I have two true 1Xs, and the acro is there for really night vision use only or a backup, and I can literally just primarily train with the LPVO. Now I know
I'll
Night Force has a good 1X as well, so
I'll
I don't.
probably go with a 193 mount and no other dot on it. Just give it a little bit more height for comfort. Because like,
Mm-hmm.
I like the dot on, a lower 1/3 height, so, like, what is it, 154 or whatever it is?
Yep.
Um, I dig the dot on top at that height, but anything above it, it's just like,
I
I'm
can't
kinda like,
remember
"What's
if
going
I'm
on?"
running a 1.7 or a 193, but I'll be honest with you, my favorite mounts, hands down, are the Reptilia. And the reason I like the Reptilia is maybe it's not as like hardened as like a Badger or something, but it's so light and it's still very hardened. It's a high quality mount that is super light.
That's probably what I'm gonna go with because 'cause I've traditionally used Geisley mounts, but
But they're a little
I
bulky.
don't like the knobs on the side. If the knobs weren't there,
See, I
the
do like
Geisley
the
would be
knobs.
dope.
See, I wish the Reptilia had the knobs because do you run a B5 stock?
Yes.
Do you run the multi-tool that fits into the back of the B5 stock?
I was literally looking at that before we started, and I was like, "I need to get the tool to go back here."
Yeah, Drew, shout out to Drew in Oregon. He sent me the tool. And that tool, you can take the knobs off with that tool. But when it's an Allen key, now I got to figure out like if I had to take this off, I'm gonna have to have an Allen key somewhere, and something to screw the Allen key with. Yo, shout out to G23, my first super chat, $2 super chat, just to be the first to pop that cherry. And then we also have Firefighter Jules sent a gift. I'm not sure what the gift is. It doesn't tell me what it is. That's all it shows me. But Firefighter Sutton, appreciate it greatly. And then we have a new channel member, Richard Guerrero. Ah, bro, that's my homie, dog. Appreciate you, Richard.
I may know the guy who sent the gift, unfortunately. That little fucking bastard.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He should be working right
440
now. What
joules.
the fuck is he doing? He should be at work.
Can't lose with a goon beam. Yeah, I've never had an issue with my rifle goon beams, ever. You know, I mean, it's so similar to a Streamlight. I think goon beam actually did a good job copying Streamlight, and I actually have one because you can use the Streamlight adapter and then put the Surefire adapter. That's what it is. It adapts from Streamlight to Surefire, and I run Surefire pressure pads with my goon beams.
Do you really?
Oh yeah. Need a mount for the Voodoo 3-9. I don't think there is an option for that. I think the only mount you got is the one that it comes with, that little mini scope. Oh no, is it? Do you know if those are mini ACOG mounts? They might be a mini ACOG.
The one in the hop video, the goofy looking one that's like newer.
Yeah, it's like really small.
I can't recall off the top of my head. It wouldn't surprise me if it's like the V-shaped hull of like an ACOG mount, but I'm not sure. Offhand, I would guess it's proprietary.
Yeah, but no, I'm pretty confident it's either a regular ACOG or a mini ACOG mount.
It might be a mini ACOG now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm. They're mini ACOG mounts. Yep. Suicide put in chat. Unity makes a new one. Yeah, it took Unity a while to like make something besides a T2 mount, but once they did, I was happy. Like they finally came out with the Hollow Sun Aims, and they came out with the they do make the mini ACOG mount because now they finally make one for the 1X micro prisms from Primary Arms.
I wish Unity would make lower mounts just as mounts, right? Like give me the gold or the black anodized. If you can throw a backup iron sight in it, do it. But like give me something like a 1.7 or a 1.93 red dot mount. I think if they did that, they'd hit it out of the park.
Reptilia makes some. So I have I think
I'm not a fan of red dot. Like, okay, this is strictly like T2s, right?
Yeah.
Unless I'm running it on like a 416 that has the raised upper rail, right? So it's higher than a traditional AR-15 rail. Or if like, let's say I have an AR-15, but I'm running the Wilcox riser for the magnifier, which means then I would run a very short, like absolute co-witness height mount for the T2. Unless I'm doing that, I do not like just the straight sort of stem and post mounts. I like them to be robust and almost like a rectangle, sort of like the old, like the LaRue mounts or the American Defense mounts, where it's like a solid box underneath. I just feel like they're way more robust, and I like the look of them. Maybe that's it. I just like how they look more. Like when they're real low, though, on a Wilcox mount, I think those stem and post mounts look fucking slick as long as it's a low absolute co-witness height.
I just really prefer the flip to center magnifier, and if there was a way to do that with a lower mount, like if I'm going to run a magnifier, I want the flip to center. For some reason, after running it for a long time, like having that weight off to the right of the gun and something hanging off the side of my gun, I hate it.
I agree. It's like there's no perfect way to do it, because I don't want to run a 226 height if I don't have to. But with the flip to center, you only can do the 226.
Yep.
So I wish I could run like a 193, because that for a red dot, I love the 193 height. And I've never ran a 1.7, but I feel like 1.7 would be perfect for the height, because 193 is just, I want to be theoretically and mathematically speaking, for accuracy, I want to be as close to the bore as I can get.
Absolutely.
All day long. I want the least amount of holdover thoughts as possible. But I also don't want to be super hunched over or have to shrug my shoulders all the way up to get that sight picture. And I feel like 193 does good, but I still wish it was just a little tad lower. So I might mess around with some 1.7s on an aim like a T2. If they make them, do they even make that shit?
Bro, there's more mounts out for the T2 than anything ever produced, so I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah, that might have been a dumb question. I'm sure somebody does.
We got a super chat from Sub Arctic Psycho. How often do you change the medicine in your glasses? Is it every 30 days, or do you have extended range variants that go 6 months? Well, I don't run the Meta glasses, so my glasses technically don't take batteries.
A lot of people getting those Meta glasses lately.
They're pretty cool, bro. I hate Meta, period. End of story. But the fact that you're just hands free and you can go first person at any time, like I was talking to DLD After Dark, he got a pair of them, and I was like, dude, like the dash cams and like now no one really knows you have a camera on. Like if you get pulled over by a cop and you see all these videos where they're like, put your phone down, it's like, bro, I could be staring you in your face, recording an inch from your nose, and you can't tell me I can't take my glasses off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that right there is kind of cool. But I do believe it only records for 5 minutes, and you have to like press the button again and record again. So that might be a little tricky, but it is kind of cool. My boy 509 Ace has a set and gets some really sick range footage with the Meta glasses. Definitely better than like having to set up a tripod. And for some reason, the algorithm loves first person point of view shooting videos.
Yeah.
509 Ace, appreciate you sending me my second super chat ever. My brother, appreciate you. He gave me also a magwell for my M&P metal carry comp. I haven't been able to use it because, and I made a point of this in my Glock video. Dude, why does M&P make a gun that when you put a magwell on your gun, you no longer can use factory base plates?
That's a little weird.
Yeah, it's just like the whole point of Glock, why I'm addicted to Glock, is like anybody I meet with a Glock, any generation of Glock, I could take their magazines from them and use them.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're running a 19X. Actually, yeah, the only mags you can't really use are Gen 5s on the 19X. But other than that, like that is the point. And it doesn't matter what magwell I have. But I do like I will always keep one M&P in the building just because.
I know a lot of people like those metal frame M&Ps. Those seem to be a hit.
Yeah, I got one. The metal carry comp is metal frame, but I don't know. It's just it's the whole supply chain of the Glock. Like I have one Safari Land for Glock, and I can run 6 guns in it. I have one M&P, but like I guess I've just already built a supply chain. Probably too because the gun store that I work for, like we don't have a lot of M&Ps, and if the last like I don't know 5 years we had tons of M&Ps and only a couple Glocks, I'd probably have a bunch of M&Ps. But
Speaking of, I forgot you worked in a gun store. Guess who still hasn't received their fucking Glock 43 mags from Glock store?
No way, bro. Thank God I sent you one.
Every time they put something out on social media, I'm commenting like, "This is cool that you have fucking tan Koa models in stock, but like, where the fuck are my magazines?"
Have you tried calling them? I have a special phone number that you can reach someone high up if you'd like.
I might. Everyone's told me just cancel the order and buy them local. I don't want to do it.
You
I've had good
already
luck with
paid for
Glock
them.
store in the past. I just want them to send me the shit. Get it over with.
Okay, 509A says the M&P metal carry comp is the best handgun out of the box for its price. I would agree with you, except there's this thing called the Gen 6 45 Koa, and out of the box,
And the Koas come
gun.
like almost perfectly zeroed, depending on your ammo.
They do.
Which I didn't realize that when I bought it, and I shot it the first time I was ringing steel. I was like, "What the fuck?"
It's because
That's convenient.
your iron sights are so accurate on it because they're screwed in. You're not sliding any of it, you know. You screw in the front, you screw in the back, and it's dead center. So all you got to do is
I
center it.
love the
in that.
Koa, dude.
Yeah.
And it uses standard height murdered out sights already. Like it's perfect out the box.
Angry Bear Arms sells like night sights and fiber optics if you ever want to change them.
Hmm.
They
Probably
sent me a
won't,
pair.
but
I have one with night sights, and my Gen 6 still has the black ones. I mean, they're fine. They work great. So Minuteman stuff, gear wise, man. Like, I know you have your loadout, and you've gone over many a different loadouts and setups. But like, if you were telling someone, what is like your minimum for someone? Like, what is the minimum they need, uh, rifle wise, pistol wise, and like minimal gear?
well, I'm very I think a lot of the people on here already share a lot of my ideas. It's nothing original. Start with a pistol, right? The pistol as a civilian is your main weapon 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So get you if you don't have a gun yet, I say get a Glock 19 or something along those lines. A double stack Glock that can double as a duty weapon, a home defense weapon, and a concealed carry weapon. So get that first. Then get you an AR-15. And a lot of guys like, I want this, I want that. Like, you can't go wrong with an AR-15.
Mm-hmm.
And this might be old news. I haven't been giving out too much advice on this lately. Actually, the dude who gifted you, the firefighter dude who gifted you, I helped him out with this. I convinced him to get a Smith and Wesson M&P Sport, one of the newer models,
I
and then
think that's a good.
I gave him a bunch of old B5 furniture that they sent me. So it's tricked out with B5 furniture. I threw him a Hollow Sun on
Nice.
a LaRue mount and a weapons light and a sling and all that.
Did
So
he go 16 inch?
yes,
Okay.
six because he
See, I would tell people this, and I tell everybody this. I'm like yes, the NFA and the pistol braces and all this stuff, but I think after working in so many training courses, I feel like you can become a better shooter running an 11.5 much faster than the 16.
well, I'll give you this caveat. He's not 21, he's 20, so he can't buy a pistol.
Oh, okay, I got you. He
So
could,
he's
so he bought it.
20. That's
Okay,
and yeah, that's I didn't give him the advice on the handgun yet because he can't purchase one either. So
okay.
he'll get a Glock once he turns 21. But I don't disagree with that. I guess my only thing with going with the 11.5 is if you're gonna rock it as a pistol or whatever, I guess it doesn't matter pistol or SBR, but the noise difference in a 14.5 or 16 or 20 for that matter, and then like an 11.5, the 11.5 can potentially rupture your eardrums. Like a 14.5 or 16 is still going to rock your world with no ear pro.
That's what I was gonna say. It's gonna rock your world, and
It's
it
going to rock your
mainly
world.
depends on your muzzle device. You know.
And but I will say though, and there's the whole internet of like, well, I'm gonna have on my fucking contacts and all this. Like, but will you? Like, yeah, hopefully you do. But if this is your only rifle, you're using it for home defense as well. Are you gonna grab ear pro in the middle of the night when you're naked and you hear somebody breaking into your house, and then you're shooting an 11.5 indoors unsuppressed without ear pro?
So just go to sleep with one foamy in your right ear because that's the side the ejection port is. So it's always louder in the right ear than the left ear, and just
And
sleep the rest of your life with a
I've
foamy in your right
shot I've shot
ear.
a bunch of things unsuppressed without ear pro. Wouldn't recommend it, right? Nobody wants to lose their hearing, but like when I was in the army, there would be times when we weren't using ear pro. Or we might have a foamy and it would fall out and you're doing some training exercise. Like I've shot a 240 Bravo from the hip inside of a building without ear pro. Really loud. I've shot an M4 plenty of times without ear pro. I've shot a 10.5 as a civilian without ear pro one time, and then I realized I'm never doing that again because it was so loud.
Oh
So
yeah.
again, I'm not saying like don't get the 11.5 because you're never gonna be able to hear anything. Just understand that it is significantly louder without a can than a barrel of greater length. So that shouldn't necessarily change your mind on because the performance on the 11.5 in the grand scheme is great for what you're going to use it, especially as a civilian. And you can always look into getting a can later on if you don't want to do it right away. But Ear Pro has to be at the top of your list, and that's why I like, um, if you're considering this, getting a can because yeah, like at the range, you should still probably use Ear Pro with the can. But like if something goes down and especially if you're outside and you have a can on shooting, like, yeah, it might be loud, but you're not gonna rupture your eardrums. You'll be
I,
okay.
I'll be honest. I run these headphones like daily called JLab. They're $29.99. They're Bluetooth headphones. They don't read my brain waves because they're too cheap to have Apple EarPod technology. But it's like the old school where it's like a rubber piece. And I've shot indoors with those on and been totally fine. And they wrap around my ear, so like they won't come off. They're probably on my head better than my like walkers or my Peltor 100s.
Mhm.
Um, but
Well,
like
for
a
example,
decent set of ear pods that have the rubber that close the ear, I think can actually do you fairly well because you can still hear. If you have no music on, you can hear, but it's gonna block out a lot.
yeah, and for example, like, my main squeeze nowadays is a 14.5, and I run a RC2 Mini on it, and I'll
Okay,
shoot that
so
without Ear Pro outside. Obviously, inside, I don't wanna do that, but it's not quiet, if you will, but it's not hurting my ears. Yeah, if I shot 1,000 rounds a month or suppressed with no Ear Pro for the rest of my life, I would have hearing damage. But if you're thinking about like an SHTF scenario or something like that, especially as a civilian, hopefully you're not getting in 6-hour firefights at your outpost Restrepo in the Afghan mountains, right? Like you're probably going to fire 100 rounds or less. It's probably not going to be too bad, right? And
mhm.
hopefully in that case, you'd still have your pro or something. But like coming from, and I wasn't SF, right? So SF is going to be rocking those Comtacs more so than conventional units, but um, we were never wearing Ear Pro at all when I was in Iraq.
Modern
Like,
Frontiersman told me a lot about that too.
you're never wearing it.
He's never worn ear pro like
And I
ever.
know guys that are in now, like in the 82nd. So like the 82nd gets some pretty high speed gear as far as just the general military is concerned. They're next as far as the army is concerned, like they're next in line after
Rangers.
Rangers and Green Berets get their gear. So they have their gear for a few years. Next thing you know, like
They're
so
they're a pretty big pipeline for Rangers though, aren't they?
the 82nd,
Yeah.
it's probably the biggest pipeline short of guys getting Ranger contracts straight
That,
out.
that's what I would think. So
Yeah.
and they're called to do a lot more stuff,
Well,
higher level.
it's just the nature of the beast. You add a little bit of training or capabilities, and the military is going to look highly upon that, and you're going to get a little bit more funding. So I
For sure.
know, like when we had the Afghanistan withdrawal. Um, well, let me back up. In 2011, I know guys from my unit in Afghanistan who were rocking Peltors the whole time.
Mhm.
And then by the time you get to the Afghanistan withdrawal, almost everyone, maybe not 100%, but 75% or more are rocking Peltors with their helmet. But even at that, you're not going to be doing that for the entirety of like a patrol, right? It's one thing if you're, and again, this is military jargon, so this doesn't necessarily pertain apples to apples with civilian Minuteman stuff, right? If you have a set mission, it comes down, you go through the planning process, op order, all this, and you're going to go do a raid on a compound or a house. You're going to wear the ear pro down in the locked in position the whole time. But if
Mhm.
you're out on a day long patrol or you're out multiple days, even if you have them attached to your helmet, they're clicked out like
Oh yeah.
90% of the time. Like you're not clicking those in if you don't have to because it's hot, you're sweating, it's uncomfortable, you're getting headaches, right? So I think that's the gear's cool. I think it's important like to have this stuff. If you have the funds for it and the training and you know how to use it and implement it, like go for it. Send it, dude. But the thought of I'm just going to have this on the whole time, like that's not realistic as time progresses. Like if you're going to go do one thing and you know in advance you're going to do it, you can set yourself up for success. But if
Mhm.
this is a spur of the moment thing or it's long and drawn out, then something could happen when you are not prepared for it to happen. Like you don't have your ear pro on. They might be back somewhere else and you just have a rifle and a chest rig and it's go time and you didn't choose that go time. Somebody else chose it for you. So
Yeah.
that's why I say with if you're going to go shorter on the rifle length, you should my recommendation is highly consider a can. It's never been easier to
Absolutely.
get a can than it is right now. And there's so many options. Especially as mind you, you got to be 21. Get that 11.5 pistol, and then it's not pinned and welded. So then you can choose your muzzle device, which means you can choose your can. If you go
Mhm.
14.5, you kind of got to choose out the gate what can you're going to go with it, unless you want to have a huge big ass headache and then end up SBRing it later on and having to get all that shit removed. And you're going to
For
pay a
sure.
shit ton of money and wait a long time to go through that process. So
I don't think I will ever, and maybe not ever, but I'm pretty partial right now to Griffin Armament cans, man. Their
yeah,
customer service, the fact that they answer you on Instagram, their small team of people that you see every day answering questions on their story, and like shout out to Meta, I think her name's Meta, who runs the Instagram over at Griffin Armament. Tell them Nomad Remnant sent you if you reach out to them. And their cans are just they're at another level right now, and I think that some of it has to do with the fact that they have a proprietary 3D printing material, which is like a nickel something that stays cooler than Inconel. Um,
hmm.
and you can pretty much choose whatever you like. They're making more cans than anyone. So like if you want full flow through, partial flow through, like you can decide out of the gate. Like you're not just stuck with it because it's the cool can made by the cool company. It's like, nah, Griffin is basically making what kind of can do you need for your gas system? We got it.
I've heard not to just continually shout them out, but like Eric from Barrel and Hatchet, he has, and for the longest time, years, has had nothing
Hmm.
but good to say about Griffin Armament. I don't have any of their products, but I've never heard a bad thing about them. So I might need to start buying shit from them.
Yeah, I could put you in touch with them if you'd like. They're just really cool people. They've never sent me anything for free. Um, I bought some of their products. I started out with their Ambi Mark II lowers and just made some videos saying how much I like this company. And then they collabed with me a few times, and it was like we built a relationship from there. And yeah, they're just really cool. I think that they do a good job, and I think that if they do make a mistake, they own up to it and take care of it. So
Well, let me get back to the kit discussion, the Minuteman stuff. So
let's do it.
obviously, pistol first. Get you a good concealed carry holster. I prefer appendix, but do whatever works for you. Get a bunch of rounds for it too and shoot it. It's harder to get good with a pistol than it is to get good with a rifle. And all these skills dwindle without use. So you got to maintain your proficiency with it. So it's better to go to get something that meets your duty standard of like use, right? So the quality of firearm. I always say Glock, and then nothing cheaper on a rifle than a Smith and Wesson M&P. If you have no AR-15 and your funds are limited, that's when I say Smith and Wesson, right? If you have more funds, obviously I would go higher than that. But if you're like debating, do I get this Surefire and this aim point, or should I get a Hollow Sun and a Streamlight and then get way more ammo? I would go with more ammo at first. And
Absolutely, I think a Hollow Sun will do you just fine as
It'll
well.
be it'll be just fine, especially if you're new to it. because you're not going to be good enough to maximize that equipment until you put a lot of rounds down range. And even once you do, like, I mean, take like a Holosun 515, right? Like you're not, it's good enough to where I, I'm, I want to say the dude from the SAS, the Nairobi deal, he was rocking a Holosun 515. It might have been a SIG, but it wasn't an aim point on his rifle, right? So
Mhm.
these are being used at a high level. Don't worry about people saying it's made in China, all that shit. Like just uh, get the basics. If you don't know what to get, the cheapest method of entry is going to be a Streamlight and some sort of red dot.
Mhm.
I would say a SIG or a Holosun. Go with that if budgets are tight. Get a bunch of magazines, right? So your Glock's going to come with 2 or 3, depending on what you get. I would say get like 5 to 10 Glock mags. And then I would say get no less than like 10 AR-15 mags. Get
Mhm.
GI mags with anti-tilt followers or get P mags. Primary Arms constantly has sales on groups of P mags. I'm torn. I like the metal mags, but I've also been on a splurge of buying 40 round P mags lately.
I
I'm
want
trying to
some
keep
40 round PMags. If you find any link that has a 40 round PMag in stock, please text it to me.
I'm all about it. They have them at my local Ace Hardware, so I pick them up every time I'm there. All of
Oh,
my rifles have a 40 rounder as the main, like, first mag in the gun.
well, I sent you a mag. I think you might have to send me back a mag. We're gonna
Yeah,
work that out.
I can get you one.
Cool.
So then you also need a sling for your rifle, right?
Yes.
So at this point, you've got a handgun, you've got a concealed carry holster for it, you got a bunch of mags for the handgun, you've got rounds for the handgun, and then you've got a rifle with a light, an optic, a sling, and a bunch of magazines. You need to get a shit ton of ammo for the rifle, and you need to go shoot it, and it needs to be zeroed, and you need to use Loctite on everything. Blue Loctite. Make sure everything's Loctited down. Make
Mhm.
sure um, your castle nut is staked. If it's not, do it yourself. Right? Keep that bitch on there, and then you need a method of carrying ammunition for your rifle. And a lot of guys get into the trap of they get the AR-15, they trick it out, and then they want to go straight into full-on dirty civilian or grand thumb, right? Like you don't have to do that. Let it be a process. Don't blow your load all at once unless you got the funds for it. If you have the funds for it, do whatever you want, right? But if you have a budget, which most human beings do, get a solid chest rig. And you can use anything from a Chicom chest rig, which I probably wouldn't advise doing that. Um,
You know
but
which Chicom I am in love with and I can't stop using it is the I have it right here. It is made by Helicon Tex.
yeah, they make good stuff.
The Helicon Tex Chicom rig where it's flapped, so it has 3 mags and then it has 3 rows of Molly on the side. So I just throw some pouches on it, and then it has Molly on the inside, so I could run a radio or even 2 additional rifle mags, or I could shove a pistol behind it. Um, I love that thing. It is the best lightweight Chicom rig that I've
If
ever
you
seen.
want Chicom rigs for an AR-15, you can typically get away with the 40 round mags in the Chicom rig.
Mm-hmm.
So that's beneficial. I like that. I run a setup like that. Oh, I have one, right? But get you a chest rig. I say no less than like 4 magazine pouches in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever you want as far as like which one you buy, but I will say if you get like a Molly one, you're going to be tempted to like fuck it up if you don't know what you're doing with pouches. The more
Mm-hmm.
quality are the ones that are pre-sewn. The only downside is you can't add more to it because it's already sewn in place. But think about it. A four a 4 carrier chest rig is going to give you either 4 mags plus 1 in the gun or 3 mags and you can carry your pistol in one of the mag pouches plus 1 in the gun. So is that an infantryman's basic load? No, it's not, but it gets you on the map, right? You're now at the point where you can carry ammunition, you can carry your weapon, and potentially your handgun without having to buy like an outside the waistband holster and a belt in addition to, right? So if I'm going to rock a chest rig, I'm very tempted to just put the pistol in the chest rig because I like my waist being free.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean,
if I
if you
have a
wanted
rifle,
to, what do you run like a gun EDC belt? Do you run like a core or a Hunter Constantine?
I run like a Bianchi leather gun belt.
So I mean, when you run like an EDC gun belt, you could really, if you QD'd two pistol pouches on it and like had an OWB, boom, you're kind of done there. I mean, yes, you would like to have a med kit somewhere, some type of medical. You need a
Yeah,
tourniquet somewhere,
I
but
do.
with a chest rig and two pistol pouches and a pistol tucked away, maybe even just one pistol pouch. If your pistol's tucked in a pouch, it's pretty
Yeah,
hard,
because at the end of
you
the
know.
day, like again, we're not SEAL Team 6 or Delta, right? Like imagine getting into a gunfight and either using all of your using 4 or 5 magazines and having to go to a pistol, or your gun malfunctioning and people being so close that it would benefit you to draw a pistol and start shooting at them. Like imagine, just for the viewer, being in that situation in real life, right? I'm not saying it couldn't happen. Of course it could happen, but that's like not happened to a civilian since like the Civil War. And there weren't even civilians, right? They were soldiers at that point,
The,
right?
the
So
one
like
the one argument I would make about that is that if you're kitting up that hard, you're probably teetering on that militia soldierman role,
yes.
right?
Well, and I will say it's a scaling process, right? So like out the gate, if you don't have anything, I'd say you're okay with that chest rig as long as it's carrying, 3 or 4 magazines, and that be your baseline, right? I would then say as time progresses, now I'm going to skip a few things and I'll circle back to them. Maybe get a second chest rig that holds like 6 or 10 magazines in it.
Yeah.
And then if you want, get a gun belt. You don't even have to get a battle belt. I don't even rock I'm not a battle belt guy. I have multiple of these Bianchi leather gun belts, and I will put S-Tac pouches on them and a Safari Land for my handgun if I choose to go that route. So
Nice.
I've got
Yeah.
extra rifle mags, I've got extra pistol mags, no pistol mags on my plate carrier or chest rig at all. They're all fast because if I have to go to the pistol, it's a very bad situation and I want to have those reloads quick. Um, and I
I
want to
just
have at least
wish
one
so.
extra magazine for my rifle on my belt as well for
Yes,
speed reload.
you got to have one speed reload. But I am bigger on the battle belt than I am the chest rig, only because so I feel like the weight, even though like yes, if you were rucking miles or something, the chest rig's probably better. But the weight distribution of the battle belt for what you can carry for me and how I set my belt up is a lot better because on a chest rig, all the weight is in the front of your body. So it's pulling on your back, right? You start loading it up with 6 mags and multi-tools and a pistol on it. Like you're adding, and then you throw a backpack on, which would help it balance. The backpack with the chest rig is the vibe because it balances the weight distribution front and back. But for my battle belt, like I have a drop leg on my left side that I can hold 2 rifle mags. I could really hold 4, but I don't put 4 rifle mags on my thigh. But I can leave with just 2 pistol mags, 4 rifle mags, and my secondary on top of having medical and a blade and everything like right there on my belt. Now, once I got the belt that fit me perfectly, which I finally just got, which actually I got the Haley Strategic D3 belt. Um, and I also wear suspenders with it, like as a backup, just to take a little bit of the weight off. But like today, dude, I was to warm up at the range. I'm 38 years old. I was doing yoga in this belt. I was doing stretching, and I could move and move like I was moving excellent. And granted, I've lost a lot of weight and I've gotten in a lot better shape. Um, So that does play a big difference. But the battle belt, the one thing I wish about the battle belt, and I love Safari Land, but I wish there was a way to carry it. And I reached out to T-Rex Arms because they dropped their new holster, and I was like, why the heck at first I was like, are you making this for the Glock 26X? Because I think the 26X with a radiant on it is like the lightweight, like it's a secondary gun, right? I know I could do work with a 26X and a radiant.
Mm-hmm.
So like cutting weight around that waistline to me is huge. And I just wish there was more of like something that wasn't so big as a Safari Land that stayed in place really well. But like I'm even tempted to order now an IWB tier 1 setup for the 26 because I've been shooting my 26 a lot and I shoot the crap out of my 26, the regular 26.
Well,
Um
I don't have anything against battle belt. I'm not a big battle belt guy, and I would assume it comes from my infantry background.
mhm,
Um, I if I can so the thing with the battle belt is either it's a padded belt or it uses an inner belt, right? Those are
yes.
kinda like the 2.
Yep.
So if you have the padded belt, it gives you a little bit more option
Mhm,
because and it's less setup as far as, like, donning and doffing it, right? I can just grab it, put it on, click it into place. If I got suspenders, throw them over my shoulders, I'm good.
yep.
Um, I look at it from the standpoint of comfort, wearing it long term, moving a long way. Because if I have all this stuff on, if I'm gonna be stationary, I'm just gonna rock a plate carrier, right? Because I'm not having to worry about traveling long distances. I'd rather have the protection. I'm in the defense. I have the advantage. I'd rather just keep safe. But if I'm gonna be trying to go lightweight, I don't wanna have to even tuck my shirt in if I don't want, you know? I just wanna be able to throw something on, not
Yep.
have to worry about my waistline at all. But to your point earlier, that was kinda what I was gonna circle back with, is the backpack or the ruck, right? I think the next thing you should get after the chest rig is get you a solid backpack. I would say strive for the ruck, but you don't necessarily have to have that out the gate. And the
So
backpack is gonna do you a lot of good because let's say you got 4 mag pouches on your chest rig, and you wanna throw a pistol in one of them and carry 3 mags. Well, I can throw 5 or 6 mags in my backpack and a
yep.
medical kit and water and a poncho and some
Mhm,
other just bullshit that I wanna have with me depending on what I'm doing. It is gonna balance out. I can always ditch that if I need to. Obviously, if you have the med kit in there, probably don't wanna ditch it, but it's gonna balance everything out. Again, there's nothing wrong with the battle belt for the new guy listening to this. Just understand you're gonna have to size it properly. It depending on which side you go with, whether it's padded or using an inner belt, that's gonna determine how long the setup is.
for sure.
And I personally don't like, and
It's much
it's a very
more
small reason.
complicated.
I don't like having to just being forced to tuck my shirt in and get all that right and because I prefer the ones with the Velcro liner.
Me too.
I think they stay in place better.
Yep.
But even at that, I don't want to put a whole lot of weight on it.
They're usually less like temperature too. Like when you have that big padded, like you're adding temperature.
Yes.
If you wear your belt at the right height, you can not like you want your belt kind of high because around your waistline and not around your hips. Because if you're running it like a load bearing like hip size, it's gonna put a toll on you.
And I have 2 battle belts. I have a Pharaoh and I have an HRT, and I
Mhm.
like them, but I find myself having so little gear on them because I don't want to have a lot of weight on my hips that I just and I don't really go to anything on my waist unless I'm putting a plate carrier on. If I'm going to a plate carrier, then I'll add the Safari Land to my belt and add the S-Tax. But even at
So I
that,
mean,
it's literally a Safari Land and an X-Tac Kiwi with 2 pistol mags and 1 rifle mag, and that's it.
I know that where cost is a big factor, but like it almost as if the 7.62 by 39 would be better if you're a Minuteman with limited ammo. Because when you think about running 5.56, And you think about probably dumping 8 rounds, like in a 30-round mag. You basically got 3 dudes right there, right? So, I mean, could you injure more with less rounds and stuff like that? Yes. Uh, Maybe let's say 4 rounds a person. Now we're doubling that, so we got 6 guys there. Uh, I mean, it's just tough because you do want as much ammo. I do think, yes, I agree with you. The chest rig backpack, simplistic, grab and go, slap on the chest rig, strap on your backpack, grab your rifle, be out. Um, I just feel like if you only have a pistol, if you have 10 mags, you can have pretty much everything staged on that except the pistol in the pouch because you have that one pistol. So you're gonna have to grab that, stick it in there, and rock out. You should probably have an EDC holster in your backpack in case you do need to ditch everything and go totally low profile and go right back to EDC and under your shirt and disappear.
For sure. And that's the
Um,
other thing I always recommend, and I actually had a video about this on the old channel. If I'm gonna throw on like fucking cries or camo,
mhm.
um, in my bag or preferably underneath my clothes, I'm gonna have regular civilian clothes. So if nothing else, I'm gonna have a pair of cargo shorts on underneath or athletic shorts and a t-shirt underneath. So if I have to ditch that, I might have to come up with an excuse real quick as to why I'm out in the woods in fucking athletic clothes in the middle of a combat zone where, they're looking for people. But I would rather be
With
able
a hockey
to,
mask.
yeah, with a hockey mask on. I would rather be able to get out of that because the whole point is not we're not trying um to hold our position till the last man 99.999% of the time, right? Like unless that's the land your family's on and they can't go anywhere, that's a different ball game. But like if you're trying to do Minuteman things, fight at your own destination when you want to, how you want to, and then fade into the society around you. You have to think about the fading back into society part.
Yeah, you do. And that's the other thing about the chest rig in the backpack is like I'm like, so if I'm in a vehicle, you can see it from the window, you're looking in, like with a battle belt, is it super uncomfortable in a car? Yes. But like if you're just looking in the car, you don't even know that I have all this equipment on, through the window. So
And I would say if you're to the level in which you're thinking about conspicuous stuff in a vehicle, you should probably be purchasing more kit. Like I have a t-shirt that has plates in it. It's a white t-shirt you can wear under a larger shirt. It's
sick.
plated up. I would definitely go with a belt setup for that. Um, but like if I'm in a car, I want to have plates on me because it's just a bullet magnet.
Yeah.
and
Side
and
plates.
it's an easy, it depends on what I'm doing. I'm not, it's going to be difficult to conceal side plates and front plates um without looking absolutely absurd, but it can be done, right? You probably need a slick plate carrier, and that leads me to the plate carrier. um if you decide to go to the chest rig option, I would say get a slick plate carrier, and you
Mhm.
can loosen the straps on your chest rig and throw it over the plate carrier. Is it a little bit uncomfortable depending on which things you buy? Yes, but if you buy strategically, it's borderline a non-issue.
For
Now,
sure.
if you get a whack chest rig with weird straps on it that are huge and your slick plate carrier isn't that slick, it's going to present problems. And you start talking about a rucksack and a slick plate carrier and a chest rig, like probably don't want to do that, right? That's probably going to make your life suck terribly. But if you go with like the battle belt setup, a slick plate carrier, it may benefit you because all your ammo's on your belt, or you might just have a regular plate carrier with more ammo on the chest. But I
Mhm.
will say having a slick plate carrier is probably a good idea for Minutemen because you can wear it somewhat inconspicuously. Worst case, take the rear plate out, and then it's
Rear
very
plate out.
difficult to tell that you have a plate carrier
Do
on.
you think you need to run soft armor in that to be as slick as possible?
If I'm armoring up, I'm gonna wear plates
Like
because I'm not going up.
level 4 ceramic?
I'm only going ceramic. I would say,
Yep.
and there's an argument, to the steel plates, and that they can take multiple hits.
Mhm.
And if society's collapsed and I can't go buy more plates, or and I can't afford multiple sets of ceramics or whatever, I understand that on a logistics conversation. However, the weight is going to fucking kill you. You're going to
Yeah.
become a heat casualty. You're never going to want to wear them if you don't do it right. The spalling of the bullet impact could kill you just as easy. What I would say is get you a pair of ceramic plates and a slick carrier, and then I would start considering, if you have a family, getting more plate carriers with steel for them. Then you can get them out of Dodge in a vehicle, and I'd
Mhm.
probably get some old, like, military helmets that have that are Kevlar, or you know what I mean, like, Mitch helmets or something like that. You don't have to go super
You do
expensive.
gotta worry about if they're out of date. I don't know how long they hold ballistic, uh, retention because there's an expiration date on the and, like, whether or not these things were left out in the sun of Afghanistan or something,
Yeah,
like,
that could
it
the sun is gonna be your biggest issue, and then
it's
people
it's
dropping them.
almost not yeah, it's almost not worth it, I feel like. They look good, it's a good idea, but I picked one up one time and started reading the inside of it and then found the production date, and I was like, "Oh, bro," I brought it right back too. It was good fortunately, I got it from someone I could do that with, but,
You gotta do your
um
due diligence, but and I would say I would only say that for family members, right? Because hopefully
mhm,
you're not putting them in direct harm's way. But, like, if it's so bad that you have to load your family up and get them out of Dodge very quickly, maybe, depending on the circumstances, you want them to be armored up if they're in the vehicle. It might be uncomfortable, they might not like it, but you're not telling them, "Go walk 6 clicks or 10 clicks with steel armor on." It's literally just, "Let me put this on you." Or if it's that Alamo situation and you're at your bug out area
mhm,
and, the hordes are at the gate and you have them in a safe room or something, I'd probably want them to have some armor on. But I don't
yeah,
care about their mobility as much because they're not gonna be,
running
depending on your
around.
family, right? They might not be doing a whole lot. But I will touch on the medical kit. Tourniquets are great. Love tourniquets. You just have to understand the secondary and tertiary effects of using these medical products, right?
For sure.
Like, if you put on a tourniquet, um, typically the old school way of thinking was like it has to be dealt with in a certain period of time, hopefully within an hour, which is why you're always taught to mark the time. And on most of these tourniquets, there's a time area that you can fill in with Sharpie. So if you don't have anywhere to take them, right, they're going to end up losing the limb, and then they could go septic and die from infection if it's
Mhm,
not taken care of. So, like, if there's obviously if you have no other choice and they're bleeding out, you want to fix that on the spot because that's an immediate life save. But you really have to think of, okay, if we're going to be involved in this crazy shit, where am I going to take people that have tourniquets on them? Or if they have a sucking chest wound, right? And I throw a chest seal on them, that doesn't fix the problem. It stops the inevitable from
correct.
happening initially, and then the same even so with, like, needle chest decompressions. I see a lot of dudes with chest decomps, needles in their kit who've never trained on it, but they assume if somebody gets a penetrating chest trauma, I'm gonna put this in there. For one, like, you really have to be good at knowing how to put that in and where to put it in,
Absolutely.
and then if you put in a chest needle, like, they're gonna have to have a chest tube at an emergency room. So, like, that literally is gonna have to happen if you put that in, down the road. So if you don't have a place to do that, maybe you should stick with the chest seal instead, right? And so I think the 2 biggest things are chest seals and tourniquets, and if you have 1 chest seal, you need another one, because what
Mhm.
happens if it's a through and through? Out in the front, out the back, there's 2 holes, you need 2 chest seals. That takes care of 1 patient. If they're
Yep.
shot on both sides of the chest through and through, you need 4 chest seals. And these things can go out of date. So luckily they're not too expensive. And then with the tourniquets, you need to get real legit tourniquets. Don't be buying off-brand shit on Amazon or Temu. The real tourniquets are going to be between like 25 and $30 on the cheap end. And that
Yeah, if
sucks,
you
but
if
like
you
just
happen to buy a cheap one, use it as a training tourniquet and
yes.
practice with it.
Yep. And then like don't think that tampons are going to stop anything. That's not that has been going around since I was a kid. But tampons are not going to help save people from bullet holes. You what you need is rolled gauze like Curlex. And so if it's and we're talking about bleeding out here, right? I'm not talking about just a lot of blood. I'm talking bright red spurting blood to an extremity. You would obviously tourniquet above that. In the military, they say high and tight because you can't go wrong in the moment and you're having an adrenaline dump. You don't have to think about it. In the first responder world, we try to go 2 inches above it, not on a joint. Um, and then we torque it down until the bleeding stops, right? Not
I,
until
I've
there's
I've
no
heard
pulse.
I've heard some mixed things about packing gauze. About like, do you need packing gauze that has hemostatic um, agent in it or not, and that it doesn't make much of a difference?
I wouldn't
Uh,
overthink it because
yeah.
if I get regular rolled gauze or Curlex, I can use it for multiple things. So if I get the
Mhm.
hemostatic agent in it, not it's not that you can't use it on other things, but like, do you really want to waste that on another type of injury? But if you have the rolled gauze and this the packing comes into play when it's like in the joint itself, right? So if I can't tourniquet your shoulder socket or your
Yeah.
clavicle, right? I can't tourniquet your neck or inside your hip, right? I can tourniquet your arms and your legs, but up to your hips on your legs and up to your armpit on your arms. So if it's past that point or it's an abdomen shot or something like that, and again, we're not talking oozing red blood. I'm talking bright red spurting blood because that's arterial blood that will kill you as fast as your heart can pump the blood out. You have to stop that, and the best way we can stop it, and again,
Pressure.
do not use this in a within rule of law situation. Do not do it. Only use this if it's like Minuteman shit. Because if you use this on the side of the road, the person can sue you because you're acting in like a paramedic capacity.
Mhm.
Throwing a tourniquet on somebody, you can probably get away with that if you do it the right way and they needed it. A chest seal, you can probably get away with that because you're not going to do like un unforgivable harm to them. But you needle chest decompress somebody and you do it wrong within rule of law, or you pack gauze into somebody's wound unnecessarily, you're going to be fucked legally, right? So do not do that. And I would look up, wound packing. There's a specific method to do it. Um, but also, like, if you carry the Curlex, you can use that for flesh wounds, for lesser traumatic injuries. You can hold splints in place with it, things like that. But remember, like, you're as far as Minuteman stuff, like, unless you're like you want to be the medic, and obviously, if you want to be the medic, you should have fucking extensive traumatic medical experience. So you would probably know what to get already. But just for your personal IFAC, and again, for the new guys, your IFAC is your individual first aid kit. It is not um, Joey's individual first aid kit. It is yours. So if something happens to you, unless you're carrying a ton of extra stuff, which I try to carry extra stuff because I
Mhm.
know what to do. But if you don't know what to do, you need to have your medical kit marked, either do a red cross on it or a cross of some sort and permanent marker or put med on it, right? So if I roll up on you and you're shot, I can see the pouch that says med. I can open up your pouch and fix you, hopefully, with your stuff. That way, if something happens to me, somebody can use my kit on me and everyone has their own, they're responsible for themselves, right? So If you want to be perfect, get 4 tourniquets because you got 4 limbs. I'll just say this, if you are arterial bleeding in all 4 limbs, the odds of them stopping that blood before you bleed out are probably, like, not gonna happen, right? So, if you go 2 or 3 tourniquets, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And then I would say no less than 2 chest seals and, like, 3, maybe 4 rolls of Curl-X or rolled gauze. If you have that at a minimum, you're okay. If you want an NPA, a nasal pharyngeal airway, you can use that, but, um, if you're not trained on it, the head tilt, chin lift method's probably gonna be the best thing, or like a jaw thrust if you're familiar with CPR. But you have to remember, when are we doing this, right? Like, is a gunfight actually happening? Like, we're not doing CPR in a gunfight, right? I'm not breathing for you, if you're not breathing in a gunfight. The gunfight takes priority, suppress the enemy first, kill the enemy, and hopefully while you're suppressing them, somebody else can work on the person. But if they're not being suppressed and you're actively moving to kill them, you should. And I should probably shouldn't have said kill them. This is all fictional. I'm not advising anybody to kill anybody. For the feds watching, I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
these are
if
enemies
we're
that you
invaded,
don't want to kill.
if we're invaded by a foreign hostile nation, right, and civilians have
Correct.
to rise up and help protect the nation, and your buddy's shot, but you're still getting shot at, you should deal with that threat first. Neutralize the threat or gain superiority and have enough people there to deal with that person, move them to safety, and then deal with them. Right. So we're not you don't need to overthink it, right? And let let the guy in your group, hopefully you have a group who you call him the medic, whether he's a paramedic or not or whatever, like let that guy have more of the medical supplies and train on that. Um, because you don't need it. I mean, it'd be cool if everyone was a medic,
Hopefully,
but like
he's
that's
not
not
your best
realistic.
shooter.
Yes,
um,
correct.
kind of going into that because I know we have limited time. Like, what? First of all, who's the best? I don't want to say operator, but like, who is the best you've been around with a firearm? Like, who have you just been blown away by their ability? Because I know you've shot with quite a few different people and been out to different ranges and stuff. So, like, who is it that you've seen where you've just been blown away by like how smooth they are, how proficient they are, the fundamental knowledge they have? Has there ever been someone like that?
Shooting wise, the dude who owns Wiseman Company, he's he's a fucking serious shooter. Um, the Blue Jean operator, he's pretty
Okay.
up. He's pretty squared away. Um, but I will say this: some of the best shots I've ever been around are not military, and they just like fucking shooting all the time.
Yeah.
Like they're
I
just
mean,
straight civilians, and I'll go out with them, and they'll shoot an iron sight Glock better than I've ever been able to shoot an iron sight Glock faster than I could, and I'm just like, what the fuck? How is that possible?
we so one of my best friends owns a instruction company, firearms training company, and I've been training with him for a little over 2 years, and I help him a lot with classes, and kind of gotten to the point now where I understand his curriculum, what he's teaching. He learned a lot from like Achilles Heel Tactical and a couple other places, but we've had plenty of military guys come out to training who need a lot of work.
Most military guys, it's sort of like cops, right?
Yeah. Yep.
They since they've held a gun professionally, they automatically have some superiority complex, and most of the time it's not warranted. And I
I
say
would
that
say the
as a
guys who
veteran.
do the guys who do come out like when they see us all shooting and stuff that they lose that in the training world because they are like, okay, I am here to fix what I know I need to fix. So like around us, they don't really have that, but I mean, I could see them carrying that
Well, like, unless
other
you, I mean, let's
places.
be real, unless you, I look at it this way, right? Um, as far as the military is concerned, most people in the military do not shoot handguns regularly.
Hmm.
And I think we've talked about it before. The more you shoot handgun, the better you are with a rifle. And just
Absolutely.
because you're a security forces in the Air Force or an MP, right, that doesn't mean you shoot it. It means you have to qualify on it. And the qualifications are very, very basic. This is like when I hear Marines all the time, like, oh, our qualifications hard in the Army, so we got to go at 500. Yeah, but it's like the size of a Volkswagen, and you're laying down and like you're kneeling for some of the shit, right? Like
And you
that's
have a
cool. Like
spotter
that's
too, don't you?
what's that?
Don't you have a spotter as well?
I don't know for the Marines. I wasn't in the Marines, but like the whole point is, and I'm not picking on the Marines. I'm just saying like the Army's the same way. When you go in and you qualify, I mean, I qualified expert and everything I did, but is that impressive? Like, no, a guy who competitively shoots would be able to do it easily as well, right? The
Mm-hmm.
difference, me being able to shoot a silhouette at 300 yards somewhat repeatedly is not the same as being able to shoot fast, right? And accurately. Shooting
Yep.
fast and accurately is a better testament to combat accuracy than being able to hit a target out at 300 yards, right?
Yeah.
One time or three times in a range session. So when you look at these competitive shooters, obviously most competitions are pistol, I would say by volume, but if you're able to hit steel and move and transition from target to target and you're doing it for time and accuracy, you're going to be better than somebody who doesn't do that. And the only people in the military that are shooting like that, generally speaking, are special operations type individuals, right?
Gotcha.
Some more than others. But if you like, I'll just say this. I also know regular infantry guys who can shoot really good, but they're shooting outside of the military schedule. They're nobody I've never met anyone who did one enlistment or was a lifer in the military, even if they were in the infantry, who was just outstanding as a shot and didn't shoot all the time outside of work. Never
Yep.
once have I met anybody like that. Now I've met some SEALs who are really good shots, but I expect them to be. I've met some Rangers who are really good shots. Yeah, they've probably put a lot more rounds down range in their time in service than most people.
For
But just
sure.
saying I was in the military so I can shoot good, it's like if you're saying that, I already don't believe you. Especially if
Yeah.
you're like, I've never been to a competition or like how often do you shoot? Right? And if you're not saying 500 rounds plus a month minimum, I'm probably not going to buy it. Now, am I saying for the average dude listening, you have to shoot 500 rounds a month? No. I would say if you shoot 100 to 300 rounds a month, you're going to be better than 80 to 90% of people anywhere all the time, no matter what, to include
Well,
cups.
as long as you're using them as training rounds. So let's be
Yes.
clear, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like slinging rounds at the indoor range, like you said, slow and like not pushing yourself or setting a standard. You're almost wasting the 1 to 300. But that
It's like
kind
a
of was.
workout, right? Like if you
Mhm.
go and lift, if I can bench press 215 pounds, but I only lift the bar and do 5 reps at a time with the bar, I'm never going to get stronger, right?
Yep.
So you have to treat it like you're training at the gym. When I go to the range, I want to confirm my zero real fast, or I want to do a cold drill, right? Especially with pistol, it should be zeroed already because I set it up correctly and I bought a quality product and I'm using quality ammo. I'm going to go straight from concealment and I'm going to push it. Oh, I might do a bill drill, or I might be like, hey, we're going to throw one out at 50 as fast as we can,
Yep.
cold, right? And so, but that's confirming, like, do I have the skill or not? Okay, and then we're going to move into it.
Absolutely.
Let's shoot some groups. Let's see where accuracy is. Then let's pick up the speed a little bit and let's vary the distance, and hopefully we can do multiple different targets. Not like at an indoor range, you're kind of limited depending on the range, like especially if you're inside of a lane, right? But like if you're outside, I can set up a silhouette over here, another one 5 yards over here, and transition back and forth. If you're doing stuff like that, you're gonna get better.
Absolutely. That was going to lead into the next is like, do you have a general standard of like certain drills, like a bill drill under a certain time, a check drill under a certain time, demand card drill? Like, have you Have you set any kind of standard that you think someone coming out to being like, okay, I want to get better at this. What type of standard should I hold myself to? Or do you think you should just be like, just keep going and get better at it all? What do you think?
I'd be weary to set standards out the gate. I would get a baseline, and because think about this too, if you're brand new, that means then you need a shot timer, right? But
Hmm.
which, I mean, I think you should probably buy a shot timer. It's only gonna help you. As we know in life, the things you keep track of, you get better at. So if I'm tracking time, I'm gonna get better with the time just inherently because I'm gonna wanna beat that last time or maintain a certain standard.
For sure.
There are
It's like trying to be on time without any clocks or watches in your life, you know?
yeah, like a very basic one is, and this is handgun. Obviously, the bill drills are excellent. The fuck, I'm forgetting the name. Oh, it's the most classic.
The the two to the head, two to the chest, one to
What
the
is
head,
it
two to the
called?
chest.
Not Sanchez. What the fuck am I trying to say?
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue now. We don't run those very much. You're talking about the oh,
Either way, what I like to do, my test for somebody out the gate is show me your concealment draw at like 7 yards, and let me see you do it in a second and a half and hit in the A zone. If you can do that repeatedly, not just like one time lucky,
yep.
then that's a good starting point, right? Then we can start working transitions because I don't see a need personally, and I might be wrong on this. I'd love to hear Ben Stager's view on this for like the average civilian. I'm more worried about as a civilian, my number one concern is drawing the pistol safely and putting an accurate round, or not a round. Obviously, I want to be shooting more than once, but getting my firing started accurately as fast as possible. Um, and just kind of the baseline for me is a second and a half draw with A zone hits at 7. And then I want to push it out from there. And then I want to just be able to repeatedly pepper A zones as fast as I can. And so what I what I work with some of the guys I shoot with is just hit the A zone, get your sights lined back up, hit it again. And we'll go at
Mhm.
like 25 yards, right? And for the first while, it might take them 2 seconds in between a shot to make sure their trigger pull is good, everything like that. And after a while, I want it to kind of be like bang, 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 or faster than that. And if they're not doing that, it's like, okay, we might need to move it in closer. And you need to figure out, your sights are going to be swaying a little bit because you can't hold it perfectly still. Like you need to understand how to pull the trigger when the sight or when the dot is over where you want to shoot. And you got to time that right.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people don't. It's it's
And
sort of the
I
same as
would say
irons, but it's a little different.
we could even go to like baseline of like, can you grip your pistol correctly?
Yes. Well, okay, so
Right?
I would obviously start there. That'd be like step 1,
Yeah. Like step
right?
one,
Grip
like
the pistol,
yeah,
because
all
that's a
the
big one. Uh,
fundamentals.
I'm of the thought process that the grip is probably the most important thing.
Absolutely. I
Because if
completely
I
agree.
draw going for speed and I get a bad grip on it, the shots are not gonna be good. So it's
They're going
better for
everywhere.
me to take the extra split second to make sure my grip is solid before pushing out. Because once you push
And
out, you're fucked if it's bad.
you're fucked. You're slowing down completely. And then your second, probably most important, is sight pitch or sight alignment. That's if you got a good grip and you got a good sight alignment, just don't be a retard and pull it like left or right. Like all you got to do is squeeze that trigger now straight back.
Yeah. And then with rifles, um, I don't necessarily, and now this might sound stupid. If I'll go to the range with somebody, but really don't let people into my like inner circle of guys. Um, because I just don't trust their knowledge most of the time,
Mhm.
right? It's not, and when I say inner circle, I mean like fellow Minutemen,
Yep.
right? It's one thing for me to go to the range with you And if you want some tips or tricks or just you want to shoot together, I'll kind of observe what you're doing. I'll make my internal judgment. I'm not going to be like a dick or anything. But I'm not bringing right now, at least in my life, I'm not bringing people into my group that don't have verified military experience in doing what would be required, because I don't wanna have to teach somebody that shit. I'm not trying to be like, "Here's how you have all these different movements. Here's how you, um, actually eliminate a target, and here's how you assault through the objective, and here's the ambush." Like, I don't wanna have to deal with that shit. I don't have the time to do it. So all
Yep.
my homies have most of them actually have way more military experience than me. So if I'm with somebody, the biggest tell out the gate is like, "Hey, yo, confirm your 0 real quick on your rifle."
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, you probably can relate. It seems like more often than not, their shit isn't zeroed. And it's one
Oh,
thing if you're like, "I just put this optic on, I wanna zero it." That's a gimme. That's a free card, right?
yeah,
Understood.
of course.
Everybody has to go to the range to zero their shit. But if you're like, "My rifle's good, all this," and then we get there and it's not zeroed, like, I'm not even
Oh,
worried about anything else.
yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, and you mentioning the other stuff, I mean, you know, that is just as important as being able to be a great shooter. If you're a great shooter and you're in a team full of guys who, let's say, they have the military experience and they understand, you know, battle drills and stuff like that, they're even being bad shooters, they're going to have a better advantage on you. Um,
The shooting while being while you could consider it maybe the most critical part,
mhm,
is the least time in real life that you're gonna do while doing the things.
correct.
The
Yep.
vast majority of your time is gonna be doing other things. So if you can shoot okay, but your movement skills, your athleticism, your camouflage, your techniques in the woods are all really good, you're gonna be fine, right? That's how, oddly enough, our military structure survives.
Yep.
One is the logistical train, right? But they train all the time at physical fitness. They train all the time at how to move and plan and work as a team, right? So then the shooting, which happens the least, and just like I said earlier, most of these people in the military are not that great at shots. But if they can
Yep.
do everything else at a high level, they're gonna set themselves up for success. Now, once you
And it's
combine
it's it's a lot cheaper to train those other things, right? Like, it's pretty
yes,
cheap to be like, "Hey, get your ass out there and run. Today you're doing fitness. Today we're gonna go into the room and we're gonna teach these battle drills." And so, like, it's more schooling,
yes.
and knowledge. So, like, the military doesn't have to spend on ammo and,
And I would
hiring
say
kit and
And
stuff like
and then
that.
there's 2 more components to that. So then imagine that same military group that trains all these other things hardcore, but then imagine throwing them in and making them expert shooters. Then you have
Mhm.
your direct action ranger units and your tier 1 units, right? They can
Yep.
do all the other things at a high level, but then they're the best shooters in the group, right? So then you
Makes
look at that
sense.
from a civilian perspective, and I would argue the same thing as the basic military, right? Like, the odds of the civilians needing to be expert shooters, you could make that argument for, like, hit and run tactics so that
Mhm.
they can shoot really good, make it count, and then bounce, but a majority of it is gonna be their strategy and their planning, right? Because hopefully, they don't get into what we call decisive engagements, meaning, like, if I lose this, we're all dead, right? If you basically want to get in engagements that you're going to win because of your overwhelming firepower. But as civilians, it's like, do we really have that? No. So then we're going to be more likely to get into decisive engagements or change the scale of balance a little bit in a way that we don't want it to, right? Maybe not necessarily decisive, but we're severely overwhelmed more so
Every
than we should be.
Everybody in chat helped us out there a minute ago with it's the Mozambique.
Mozambique, yep. I don't know why I
Yeah.
was saying fucking Sanchez, but yeah, Mozambique's a good one.
The dirty
Um,
Sanchez.
the dirty Sanchez, yes. But if we understand as civilians, we're gonna be going into situations that we probably will not have the upper hand,
Mhm.
then you could argue, yeah, shooting might help more, or like if we're doing hit and run tactics, shooting might help more. But I would argue
your situational awareness, your decisions on the ground of when and where to strike and how you approach these situations is going to be way more important than the shooting itself.
It also depends on the
And
level of
it's not sexy, right? Like I
yeah.
don't like saying that as a gun guy because all I want is just to fucking shoot my guns and be Rambo and then win every time. But it's like that's not the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is most people are going to starve to death.
Yeah. I mean, and just to complete that, it does depend on the level of force you're going against and the ability of your enemy, right? Like if your enemy is some dudes who don't understand anything besides just they're there to wreak havoc and terror, even without all the knowledge. If you're a great shooter and you can present yourself with good shots, you might be able to take out quite a few at a time, you know. And
Yes.
if they're just really unorganized, being a much better the shooter than them is most likely gonna you'll have an advantage in that situation. But if you're going
And I mean,
against like the military force, that's where
I'm
you're gonna
always going to
really
argue to be a better shooter. But I don't think like in the list of mandatory, I don't want to say mission sets because that sounds too GBRS group, right? But like mandatory things you have to be able to do as a Minuteman or like a prepared civilian, shooting is on the list. It's not the top thing on the list.
for sure.
Being able to live through the event is the biggest thing on the list, right? So whether that's food, you got to have food, you have to have community, right? And I think that's the thing, the community aspect can solve a lot of these problems. And I think that's the biggest one as civilians, right? Because whether it's tyrannical government type stuff, having a lot of community members on board, a strong community that works together, they're going to be able to project much more force than one or two dudes, right? They're going to be able to survive
Yes.
longer due to combining resources than a small group of shooters, right? To the same degree, if it's the roaming or the roaming hordes of hungry people coming from the cities out into the counties and rural areas, the larger the community you have, the more bodies you have, the more shooters you have by default, right? The more minds you have to come up with problem solving and keeping your kids and wives and elderly people alive. So I think at the end of the day, the important thing to realize about all of this is that the shooting part isn't the most important part. It's probably the coolest part, I would argue. It's what I spend the most money on because I fucking love it and it's my hobby, but you have to have the other things squared away, right? And so, like, the great example I give is, you want night vision? Cool. Do you have 6 months worth of food and water ready? Because if you don't, maybe you probably shouldn't spend thousands of dollars on night vision, um, because the odds of you donning a helmet and flipping down your nods and using your laser before you starve to death, I don't think it outweighs that, right? And it's an unfortunate truth, like, it's not sexy, but that's just my line of thinking.
For
And I
sure.
have nods, right? Like, I love it, it's the coolest shit ever, it's a superpower, just like thermals, but if you don't have that your base necessities met, none of the other shit matters.
I completely agree. Well, it's hard to start a group. I mean, it's hard to have community. I spent some time actually talking a lot with one of my friends about this, and the best way to build community, in my opinion, is you obviously need quality people, and you need people who have done things in their life, right? You need guys who are firefighters, guys who have careers, who know other people, who have some finances that they might not be wealthy, but they can apply a little bit to adding to the group. They may own a house. They may, you know, and I'm not saying that disqualifies people who are renters or anything like that. I'm just saying the core strength of that group is going to come from the quality of the human beings and the quality of men you put together. And guys who are LEOs, if they're on board, you know, they know where stuff is. Guys who are firefighters have access to certain equipment and certain knowledge and skills that they add a lot of value instantly, even if they're not a great shooter. So that I think is the crux of it is, yeah, you might meet a dude at the gun range or at the gym or at the gun store, but what type of background does he have? What kind of quality of an individual does he have? Like maybe you guys share the same beliefs, but all in all, do they have those skills that you're looking for that is going to add value to a group of people, or are they going to just
One
share
one
ideas?
way to approach that, and I've gotten lucky by default in this. This was not something I planned to do. It's just where I'm at in life. The way I look at the people who are the most prepared, a lot of times the people, not all the time, but have a lot of resources geared towards this are people who have done very difficult things in their life, or they've
Yep.
gone through trials and tribulations and come out on top, right? So, like, going through the military, you're going to meet a lot of people and you're going to be very close with them, right? So, you go in the military, odds are you're going to make a few friends, right? Odds are they're going to think like you and you're going to have shared deep conversations with them and they're going to share these thoughts even long after they're out, right? So, you got friends. If you're in the military, you got friends from the military. You might be on the other side of the country, right? But now you're a vet. You can easily talk to other vets. It's an in for friendships out the gate, right? You're a policeman, you're a firefighter, you're a paramedic, you're a nurse, you're a doctor, whatever. You're going to meet other people who have gone through those experiences, and hopefully their job gives them enough resources to be able to buy the things that they want, or they're lucky enough to be born into a family that has that, right? If you're the worst thing that you could be as far as preparing, unless you have a shit ton of money, and if you have a shit ton of money, none of this matters, right? But it can't buy friends. But is a guy who's like an introvert who doesn't have friends, who lives in the city in an apartment, right? Because it's going to be and has like a desk job, because the odds of you finding a like-minded individual in the city at a desk job are going to be low. If you don't have any other background in your life doing difficult things around A-type testosterone males, right? It's going to be very hard for you to get close to people who are like that, because those are the people who are going to succeed whenever things go south. Those are the kinds of guys like keep in a wall locker until war and then you break the glass, right? Like those are the guys you want. You want people like this on your side. So the best thing I could say is go do hard things and meet people in the process that do that kind of stuff. Whether it's running, marathons, whether it's doing the mud runs, whether it's doing rucking out with people, whether it's going to competitive shooting, getting into
Yep.
skydiving, becoming a first responder, going in the military. I wouldn't advise that, unfortunately. Now, hate to say it. I've always been a proponent of the military. I don't like where things are going. But you see where I'm getting at with this, right? The more you put yourself out there and do hard things around other people, the more opportunities you're going to have to meet the like-minded individuals that you would want to be grouped with when this shit goes down. Because
And
unless you're born into a family or just have a shit ton of money and can buy the resources,
yep.
that's great, but like you still need the people.
I would say you put that extremely eloquently. Shout out to Risky for laying it down like that about that topic. I think you explained that perfectly. That's why everyone loves listening to the man Risky Chrisky, because he expresses these things very intellectually, simple, and straight to the point. And I think you explained that perfectly, man.
I cannot stress enough for the average person. Now, if you're inside of a city, this is not going to be an option for you. So you're gonna have luckily, since you're in the city, you're probably more intellectual than I am, so you can hopefully ponder and come to some other conclusions that I haven't been able to. But if you're in the county, if you're physically able, and and you're struggling for experience or people, you need to go join a volunteer fire department or rescue squad. Most of the people there probably won't be the ones to help you, but your odds will jump up significantly, because the
Mhm.
dudes who own farms, a lot of them or their sons are volunteer firefighters, right? The guys who want to get involved in the shit and want to be there and are cool under pressure for your area, especially in the rural areas, are going to be these volunteer firefighters. The guys who are professional firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, rescue technicians, a lot of them also volunteer. So there's a stigma around volunteer firefighters. I get it. I laugh at it myself. I'm a member of HIFTY. right? I make fun of these people and make memes all the time because they're so absurd. But your odds of meeting at least one person that has more resources go up significantly. And most of the people now that I have in my group, I've met them because of firefighting. And I got my start in volunteer firefighting. I'm not saying you need to go out and become a career firefighter. I'm not even saying that you need to go to a volunteer station and get all your certifications. You can be one of the guys that's like, go get me this. You're not a hang around, like you're on the department, but let's say you're not fully certified. Like you can still become friends with these dudes and gain their trust and make lasting lifelong relationships even if you put in the minimal effort.
I completely agree. I mean, and you're talking about people with a different set of principles in those career fields, right? Their career field is I'm willing to sacrifice myself for the good of something. And that alone speaks a lot to the kind of individual you're dealing with. Now,
And
not
most
all
of
of
the
them
time
are perfect, but
in these rural environments, like guess what? They think just like you. They
yep.
might need you to get them out of the brain rot of being full magatard like Israel supporter, but I've done it. I've literally got people who didn't know better, and now they're some of my best friends, and they've come to the dark side, and they understand what's going on, who were of the other mindset, but they're closer in your line of thinking than the average person you'll meet at your day job, right? And you're gonna be
Straight
able to
up.
spend time around them, extracurricular with work. And I will say the one thing that they like is they like dangerous shit, and they think it's fun. They're not afraid. They probably have some level of maturity to them. Not all the time. There's a bunch of retards out there, but your odds of encountering at least one or two, if you have none, I'd rather have one or two than none.
Matthew Telhart is in the chat. Shout out to Matthew Telhart. Telhart Handmade Knives is one of the sponsors of this channel. And really thank Matthew Telhart for showing up. Makes a great point here. The absolutely need to learn hydroponics, which native plants are edible and medical. That is a great point. I mean, yes, you can prep, but like if you're just out and you're running out of things, knowing what food you can eat and make the teas and do stuff like that on top of cost savings. So the more knowledgeable you get about your surroundings, that what is actually useful to you, the less things you need to buy, which is also a highly valuable skill. So yeah, thanks for showing up, Telhart. Great point. Also, this channel is sponsored by the Armsman Holsters. Shout out to Armsman. He's a good friend of mine, makes high quality holsters. He's been going through a lot lately with his wife having a medical condition. So we're keeping him in our prayers. And if you need an amazing American made blade, definitely go check out Telhart Handmade Knives, man. The high quality person, one of the best Christian dudes I've met. So just want to give him a shout out. And thanks for everybody who's sending these little these gifts. I don't know what they do yet because I'm new to this monetization, but like Lynchpin dropping the 6, 7 coins, 10 coins, gold coins, sunshine. I don't know, jewels. I don't know what they are yet, but I'm sure I'll find out here eventually. So appreciate
Lynchpin Supply does my shirts and stuff. I don't make any money from that, so
Shout
it's
out
not
to
like
Lynchpin.
this is not an ad that I get money off of, right? I make no money on the shirts and stuff, but I think they're pretty cool.
Well, not to make you feel super cool, but my Risky Chrisky Lynchpin Supply Dogman shirt is packed in my go bag, and I don't
Isn't
wear
it
it because
fun?
I love it so much. It might be gone. I don't know if it's still there. Lynchpin, you let us know if you got any more Dogman shirts, but the Dogman shirt, absolutely my favorite shirt. Yeah, it's packed in the go bag. I won't even wear it because I enjoy it. Great quality material. He used good stuff, man. Did a great job on those shirts. You should definitely get you a Risky Chrisky shirt and go get it at Lynchpin Supply. We've still got it all. Yo, save me another Dogman shirt. I'm gonna get another Dogman shirt from you in the XL. I gotta
My
check
favorite are
I used to be 2XL.
the Schizo Corral tie-dye shirts. I like those.
Those are fire too. I need one of those for the gym. See who I can attract at the gym.
I want to do a run of patches. That's what I
You
want to do
should.
next.
Like just the hockey mask would be fire alone.
I don't know. I've got a few ideas, but yeah. I want to
Yo,
do a full Schizo Corral like color, like Golden Corral style patch.
I'm sure you also experience this, but yo, the guys on Instagram every other day with their patch DMs about their high
It's
quality
absurd,
patch.
isn't it?
It is like it is the craziest thing that there's just so many of them.
I've never responded to any of those. If it's like if I see a patch deal and I go and it's like a small account and they look legit, I've done a few of those. Like Cultivated Laser is one who does laser patches. He
Nice.
did a run for me. There was another few guys who did some, but like these random ones, like you need to see our 100% such and such patches. They're fucking great. It's like straight to the spam folder. Never
Yeah.
respond.
At least if you want to feel legit, you want me to like you, at least go through my profile and like give a like bomb on all my posts and stuff. But you guys don't even do that. So if you're out here listening, patch makers, if you're gonna DM me asking me to buy stuff from you, should at least go like a bunch of my posts.
I want to do some masks. I see Lynchpin in the comments. I would like to do some masks. I even thought about doing them myself because it's so easy to do. But I'm as dumb as it sounds, like I'm not desperate for a few bucks in profit here and there. And I wouldn't upcharge them because it's so cheap to make. I just don't want to spend the time lodging a bunch of fucking masks and sending them out to people.
There's a company out there that makes some like super high quality risky style masks with like leather on them. And have you
Dovin
ever seen
art
them?
or whatever it is, Dragon art or Dragon off, something like that.
Something like that. I
Yeah.
think they also sell the leather. It's like a leather wrap you can put as like grip tape, and it's made of leather. It's also pretty
He
sick.
makes like custom leather chest rigs and shit. Like really cool stuff. He was one of the guys I think who popularized the skeletonized AK mags because he would put them in his posts.
Sick. Yeah, they're cool. They captivated me a few times. I didn't have the money to drop on them, but he's got some cool stuff.
He said he'd make me a mask, but he never got back to me, and I don't care enough to pester him.
Nah, you should pester him and get one of those for sure.
I want to chrome a mask out. That's what I want to do.
Chrome.
Yeah. Just solid mirror chrome. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, if you catch it in like the right sunlight for a rant video, would be fire.
There was another guy. Oh man. I feel bad that his name escapes me. He was a YouTuber, he got banned. He did a mask and he added a nods mount to it and he made it work. And it was
Oh,
legit.
that
It
sounds
was
fire.
real fucking legit. I got pictures of it on my phone.
Told Giraffe to make some black gator. I'm not gonna lie. As a Florida man myself, I feel like I want some type of gator skin on like some pouches or flaps or something.
I actually went to I'm looking at the comments now. I'm on that
Okay.
part of the StreamYard, but I went to I forget who makes the mask, not Maytech or it's something weird like that. I called them up. They're out of like New Jersey. And I was like, yo, what do I gotta do to either be a brand ambassador of your masks or get like custom masks done? And they're like, send us your YouTube videos. And I did. And after that, they're like, we can't work with you.
Oh, dude.
I was
I
like,
feel
you
like it's
fuckers.
50-50 for you. Either they're just like, wow, love this guy Risky, or they're probably like, stay away.
It's more they hate it than anything. Like the really large companies, they can't deal with it.
Yeah, I
Like
need
Long
to.
John Silver's wanted to have nothing to do with me. I told him I was like, let me be your spokesperson. They're like, don't ever contact us again.
I feel like you'd be a great spokesperson for like a Mexican joint.
I used to have it my podcast. I used to say I did it in the stall of a Mexican restaurant, and I would shout them out every time. I was like, I'm back in Monterey's Mexican Bar and Grill in the stall number 3.
I
Doors
remember
wide
that
open.
actually. I thought it was just like a total joke.
No, it's like a chain. Monterey's is like a chain in North Carolina. There's like one in every town. I
That's
don't even know
hilarious.
if they're associated with each other. They're just all called Monterey's.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if Geisley popped in. Shout out to Geisley. They follow me on IG, so maybe they'll see the post and come through at some point. The
I'm
Lord
just in it for
Geisley.
the memes at this point. I don't want any money. I just give me a patch or a shirt or a mask here and there. I don't need much, but just sell it and let other people buy it. That's all I
Heck
want.
yeah. Well, yeah, man. You got anything else? I feel like those were some of the main things I felt like were good topics to hit. I think I had one other topic, which was like budget red dots that are not popular. Do you have any things that you found that are pretty good out there that aren't like the normal popular Hollow Sun, the SIGs? You know, has there been anything that you've come across that, or even an LPVO that's not like pop, not like an Arkin or something that you know there's been a million videos on, but something that's like a little bit under the radar that you think is a solid product?
I'm be honest with you, I don't fuck with any of that shit. If at this point, if I'm gonna get a red dot, it's gonna be a Holosun or an aim point.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna spend the money on an LPVO, I'm gonna get a nice one. I used to fuck a lot with primary arms.
Hmm.
Um, Again, I'd never owned the PLXC, just the cheaper stuff and some of the prisms, but I'm at the point now, it's like I've downsized my collection a little bit, and I just want the quality. So even if I have to wait and save up for it, you know.
So on like my go-to stuff, I want the quality, but like I wouldn't say I have like an exuberant amount of things, but like with my like I don't know sixth backup Glock, I'm kind of like okay, well, what can I put on here that I can test that I can see? Oh, this looks new. This looks like it's well built. I tell you one thing I'm impressed with is the Vector Optics Frenzy Acro footprint. Dude, the Vector Optics Acro is absolutely one of the nicest Acro adjacent knockoffs I've ever seen.
Really.
Yeah, it is like $180, and as soon as you pull it out of the box, you're like, "Wow, this is a not like these other cheapo knockoff things." Like the whole bit of it, you're impressed with it.
I think,
It's
my downfall was I finally got a legit H&K and, like, the SP5K,
oh yeah.
and I I'm an elitist now, you could say. Like, I'm never gonna like, the next AR I'm gonna get is gonna have to be a Geisley. Like, I can't do less than Geisley and that now. I've
I'm
seen
with
it,
you.
I've experienced it, and I'm like, "Bro,
I
fuck."
I have I have 2 Geisleys and like for what I'm gonna run, it's actually I'm gonna tell you the truth. There's one company that I would run their rifle all day long, not a Geisley, is the Griffin Armament Mark II or the Mark One. I mean, because it's pretty much the same, just one's ambi, one's not ambi. But the Griffin rifle is very nice if you can't go Geisley. It's that BCM level. And honestly, at this point, I think I would take the Griffin over the BCM, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. A lot of times, I think mainly it's because of the handguard alone. They have the exact same notch that Geisley uses on their handguard, the way it mounts into the upper receiver, and that I'm already a fan of the Geisley. So like, if I was going to step down, that's the step down I would go as the Griffin.
Yeah. My
Um,
next, AR will probably be an 11.5 Super Duty.
oh yeah, I have a
Yeah.
12.5 and I would take another. I want another shorter one. I either want another 12.5 or I would take the 11.5, then run the LPVO on the 12.5 and the red dot set up on the 11.5.
Yeah,
Stone
I
face
intend to
GG.
have when I get that new LPVO, I'll put it on my URGI, and
Oh yeah.
then I'll throw the EOTech on the,
Is your
11.5 whenever I get around to
14.5
get it.
URGI?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I have it on a Colt lower. I just went as
Fire.
close to the military setup as I could.
You also on that one, is that the one where you have the rail cut out with the fixed front sight post?
No, that's a different one. That's oh shit, who makes that?
You have a
I'm
Geisley
lacking.
you have a Geisley rail with the fixed front sight post, right?
I threw the Geisley on it. I swapped the barrel. It's the UTE2. I forget who makes it.
It wraps around the front sight post though, doesn't it? Or no, it just stops short.
So I threw a Scalarworks fixed front sight post on it. It was originally a 16-inch gun
Okay.
with a quad rail, and I swapped it out for a 10.5 barrel and then put the Geisley rail on it with the Scalarworks front sight post because it has the rear sight built in.
Sick.
It's nasty. I mean, I love it. But my whole thinking was like I kind of fucked with the barrel and the gas tube and everything. Um, and if I'm going into a true life or death situation, like I want the peace of mind with the
Me
Geisley.
too. I'm with you on that. And honestly, I like having Geisley build it for me as well when it comes to uppers. Like the
Yeah,
best
like they're
I
gonna be able to build it better than I am.
absolutely. Stoneface GG says Athlon Optics good budget scopes. Well, I have two for sale if you would like one. I have the 1 to 10 Helos, second focal plane, and I also have the 2 to 12 Athlon Helos, and I just don't have any rifles for them, and they are both fantastic optics, and I think they have very good glass for what they are. And the 2 to 12 is the first focal plane. It won Scope of the Year in 2005. I just couldn't find a way to mount a 90-degree red dot on it because the top turret is so high that even the high Reptilia mount for the aim-point acro, I still obscured the acro almost completely. If I could have found a way to mount the 2 to 12 with the aim point on top, I probably would have run that exclusively. But
Well, they have there's this company, I forget their name. They actually asked me if they could send something out. I haven't responded to them. They make a side mounted ACOG mount.
oh, I've seen that.
So I wouldn't throw an ACOG on there, but I'd throw a mini ACOG or a primary arms prism on the side and then
Is it a
rock
is it a
a
is it a
red dot.
mini is it a mini mount or is it just the regular or is it for a mini ACOG?
They have both, I believe,
Nice.
the
Yeah,
full and
buddy.
the small one. Because I don't want to have a full fucking ACOG off to the side, but a mini ACOG or a prism, I think that would be absolutely dope.
Me too. That would be dope. I got rid of my SLX micro prism because I kind of wanted, and it was a 1X, but I kind of wanted the GLX if I was going to go with the 1X, and then the 5X. Yeah, I think you got rid of your 5X, didn't you? The micro prism you had.
I did because the field of view in the iBox sucked. It was
Yeah.
cool. I found this guy who makes Top Dot 507.
Yeah.
Is it the 507?
He makes
50
it
no,
for
maybe
he
it's the
makes it
509T.
he makes it for all of them now. He makes the
Yeah.
Acro, the RMR,
Because
509T.
before that, you had to run a pick rail and it was so high up. I was like, this is stupid. But
Hmm. He's
once
got
I
the
saw I
rig.
could low mount a red dot on top, a fully enclosed red dot, I was like, yeah, we'll try this out. And it wasn't terrible. I liked it mainly because of the reticle. Um, and even with what was it, the 5X micro prism when they
Yep.
first came out from Primary Arms, I was like, if you put the 1X reticle in this, it would be nasty. But they had some like weird fucking reticle in it, and I'm like, come on, dude.
Well, didn't they have like a mill reticle with the stadia lines on the side and windage and stuff? I kind of liked it with just the chevron and no circle of death around it.
I it's been so long, I don't remember. All I remember is my takeaway was the reticle needed to be the other reticle.
Gotcha. I think they might have changed the reticle from the early on one.
I
that
think I
you had.
wanted just the chevron in it.
I think that's what it has now. Is just the
Yeah.
chevron.
So if that's how it is now, I'd like that.
Hmm.
But I'm at the point, it's like, and because once you have a multitude of rifles, it's like, well, which one am I going to take?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it depends on what's going to happen. And it's like, but I'm going to dump
Mm,
more of my money into this one than that one. So I'm at the
correct.
point now, it's like, I just want to have one good gun, and then I'll have
I,
extras to give to people or to stage in different places if I need one. But I
yeah,
still have my main go-to.
the Geisley Super Duty. I'm actually thinking about getting a Griffin 12.5 and making it my training rifle, so that way I can leave the Geisley 12.5 as the go-to rifle. Which, I mean, Geisley could take a beating. I mean, I'm sure I could train with it for years and years. I just would prefer not to and just leave it minty.
Right.
And so yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a 12.5 Griffin as like my go-to training rifle. That it feels and is very similar to the Geisley. It's just not the Geisley. So but I think a training rifle, so like having multiple rifles is great to hand out to people, but like as the individual, it'd be super nice to have two rifles with the exact same setup. One you beat the piss out of and train with, and your other one is exactly the same,
Yes.
ready to just go.
My other thing I want to buy is that Wilcox mount for the magnifier setup, but it's like $700 fucking dollars. And it's just a riser.
Oh my god! For
Yeah.
what magnifier?
Have you seen this? So
Let me look it up.
yeah, look up Wilcox magnifier riser.
It's
It's
just
what
a little riser.
Yeah, it's what CAG is using. And it's the most robust one I've seen on the market. It's just
Is
so
is
fucking
it the
expensive.
0.41-inch riser for the EOTech XPS?
No, it's like a long one with a little round area in the back for the magnifier.
But is it only for
Do this.
EOTech
Look up.
pattern?
No, it's not gonna give it to you right up, but you'll be able to see it. So if you go to Google and just type in, Wilcox Aimpoint T2 mount, they don't make a T2 mount, but if you go to images, you're gonna see it. It's like maybe 5 inches long, and it comes in gold and black, and it's just the underlying riser with the magnifier attachment, and you still gotta add the red dot with the red dot mount on top of it and the actual magnifier.
Oh, so the magnifier is like floating in the back,
Yeah.
right?
So that's what, Delta Force is using right now,
Gotcha.
and it's pretty dope.
Let me see if I
It's just it's so
can.
expensive, it's like, there's no way I'm gonna fucking be able to
I'm
justify
gonna tell
buying
you,
that.
I don't think I could ever. If I'm running a red dot and a magnifier, I am running a Unity with a flip to center magnifier. That's just. Is this the one you're talking about right here? I don't know if you can see the screen. You go back to the screen, you
Yes,
can see.
that's it.
That's
So
sweet.
that's
I just.
it's pretty legit, but the money, I don't know.
It's hard.
I'm
It's
ha
hard to spend that kind of money and not know if it's what you like.
well, okay, so I call me like a fucking cuck for it. I am a huge fanboy of what Delta does because of the amount that they shoot. I know a few guys who've been in, and I trust their T&E process a lot. Um, so if they're running something, like generally speaking, they don't run it unless it's absolutely like the best shit out there. Not all the time, not 100%, but like most of the time. So, like I said, I just got it. I'm waiting on the shipping for an EOTech, and I'm thinking about how am I going to set up the magnifier on it. And I was looking at that because I think it was 1 minute out. Maybe it wasn't him. Somebody else had a video and they were using it, and I was like, oh, let me look. And I went down the deep dive and I saw a bunch of the Delta dudes running that, and I was like, oh, there might be something to that.
It looks like it has like a lock latch kind of like underneath. You got to hit that latch maybe. It looks cool.
And I would run that with an aim point. So if I did it, it would have a T2 on the front. So I don't even know. I'm just still trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to set up.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you get the Night Force, I think your setup will be pretty clear to you. Once you go that route, you're going to be like, let's stick with this.
Yeah, I hope so. I've enjoyed looking through them at the gun shop, so we'll see.
Yeah, the last optic I have on my list is the PLXC RDB in FDE to match the DDC Geisley Super Duty 12.5 I'm running. Want the whole thing gold out. And hopefully my anodizing blends in with the trenches.
Yeah, I'm literally on my main squeeze. I'm just rocking black on it. The internet's gonna hate that. All my other rifles are painted. It's the only fucking black rifle I have.
Well,
Every
when I
black.
have something, so my Geisley, my first Super Duty was a 13.9 black upper, and I would not paint it. Everyone's like, paint it. I'm like, nah, I'm not painting it. So I did Cerakote the lower FDE, and then I took the rail off myself. I would not remove the the barrel nut. I'm like, no, Geisley put this barrel nut on here. They put the gas block on here. I'm not touching any of that shit. I'll take the handguard off, slide it down, got it Cerakoted, and slided it back on and put it back together. So I had, it looked like the URGI because I had still the black upper receiver, but it was a Super Duty, and I was like, I'm just not disassembling what Geisley has done here. So I'll paint the rail and the lower, and then I put some Ranger wrap. I think it's Ranger Wrap is the company, like the stickers with the multicam. It's like Cordura. You can cover your whole. So I did that for a while, but then I got the other DDC upper and I used that FDE lower on it. But now if shit hit the fan, I was saying, like, if shit really hit the fan, yes, I'd spray this thing down if I needed to. But until then, I'm not spraying my Geisley Super Duty. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm so back and forth, man. You know, you talk to me in a month, it'll probably already be spray painted.
Safely Strapped says Risky is the name for someone who needs a 5-inch 5.56 with a Q cherry bomb and an FRT.
Oh no thanks.
But yeah,
I don't go lower than 10.5 on a 5.56. No. And even that, I'd rather have the 11.5. But
well, you might go 10.3, maybe.
I would, yeah, technically I would, for sure. But yeah, no 9-inch, no 7-inch, no 5-inch, none of that shit.
Yeah, I've seen some 9.5s that seem intriguing. But I mean, yeah, you're 10.3.
If I'm gonna go shorter, I'm gonna get a 300 blackout.
I'm kind of like 11.5 is my minimum, to be honest. And most LEOs and stuff, almost everyone's fading out the 10.3, 10.5. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. I know, so we've hit the 2-hour mark, and I know it's Sunday night. I got to be up kind of early. But I enjoyed it, dude. I love just talking about the goods of what we need to do, need to think about, because I enjoy getting riled up about all the things why we like this stuff in the first place. But it was nice to have you on and focus on just informational stuff. It's something calm. Dudes can just kick back and listen to and not stress themselves out. Every now and then we need to cut the cortisol down as much as we can, guys. It helps keep the weight off you. So yeah,
appreciate you having me on.
Always, dude. I will talk outside of this, and I'll let you know. I need to get one of those 40 rounders for sure, maybe 2.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate you, my brother, and hit that subscribe button. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Make sure you go check out Risky Chrisky on IG and his YouTube channel, Risky Chrisky 69420, and on X still on X.
I'm on X.
Still on X. So check him out. Check out DLD After Dark. He's in the chat. Check out the Armsman Holsters, Telhart Handmade Knives, all that good stuff. And we'll catch you on the next one.
The remnant of nomads feel lost in a world they don't recognize, controlled by evil forces who seek to enslave them. They have trained and prepared for this very moment.